The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back here to High School Game Day on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, brought to you by the Missouri State Highway Patrol, who reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. And Doak Propane, for all your propane needs, see the folks at Doak. We go north of our studio here to Harrisonville High School, and we welcome in head football coach Brent Maxwell. Coach Maxwell, thank you so much for your time today.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And Coach, 6-5 a season ago. Talk a little bit about what you're going to have to replace due to graduation. We're right around the corner from fall sports beginning. They begin on Monday as far as practice. Talk about some of those young men that you're going to have to replace just because of graduation, and maybe some of those folks are going to step into those roles.
Sure. We lost a big senior class last year. I think we had 23-24, which recently has been, pretty big for us. We're usually around 15, 16. So we definitely have some holes to fill. One of them obviously was a running back, Nate Reynolds. He had started all 4 years for us. Actually ended up getting hurt last year, week 2 versus Bolivar. Sustained a knee or a season-ending knee injury. But we've got some guys that have been working extremely hard. We are excited that we've on the offensive line. We've got 3 guys returning that have some experience. One at each of the tackle positions, and then one at our center positions. So we found 2 other guys, I think, that, again, it's going to be here before we know it. We got a lot of work to do, but they've kind of bought in and accepted the role of stepping into those guard positions, and kind of excited to see how they can develop, over the course of the year. Excited that we do have our quarterback returning this year. He grew tremendously last year. We obviously are a run-oriented offense. He did a great job throwing the ball when we needed him to, but he kind of stepped up whenever Nate ended up going down. He ended up rushing for over 1,000 yards himself. So that was huge for us last year. Again, we didn't end the season as well as we had hoped. But that's just kind of how it goes. Somebody goes down and somebody's got to step in and fill that role. And we had several guys, attempt to do that. And we just once we kind of got things figured out and rolling, the season kind of come to an abrupt end there. But we're excited to build upon that again this year. Defensively, we've got 6 returners back, most with at least 1, if not 2 years experience. Tyson White Smith, actually one of our better linebackers. He's actually going to be a 4-year starter this year as a senior. So he's put on some good weight this year and increased his speed. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do. But our front 3 ought to be pretty decent, I think. We're still not overly big per se, especially for a Class 4 school, but probably one of the bigger, front 3s we've had over the past 4, 5, 6 years, though. So with, Aiden Pickering and Bryson Cecil and Trenton Hyder and Keller Johnson and, the likes, we should have some depth at that one position, that will hopefully kind of keep some offensive linemen off of Tyson in that linebacking course. So.
Coach, any changes to your schedule from last year to this? I know Bolivar was on your schedule last year. This year you come to Bolivar, and you also go to Cassville, which is quite a trip as well.
That'll be a haul. Now, essentially, it's a mirror schedule. It's just flip the home and away. This will be the second year of a 2-year rotation. So, we look forward. We'll open up the season with Richmond at home. Solid Class 3 program, and they kind of gave us everything we wanted last year, I felt like, in week 1. And so we're really excited to have them come down. Glad that game's at home this year, again, with so many new faces in certain positions. But And then, yeah, we'll make that trek down to Bolivar. We've been there a few times and had some really, really good games. So looking forward to that one. We're excited to go to Cassville. It is a long trip, and we're not. That's no strange trip for us necessarily. We used to travel down to Cassville to Monette, the likes of that. We've been to Rogers, Arkansas. We've been to St. Louis. I mean, so we enjoy taking those longer trips. Don't want to do that every week, obviously, but once every couple of years, it's kind of fun just to get away and see new schools, see new places, new stadiums and things. They were good last year. And I expect them to be just as good, if not better, this year. So I fully expect to be in for a battle again this year with them.
Yeah. And Bolivar, that it's down here. It's still at Southwest Baptist University on their facility. Their new head coach, Coach Robert Clardy, had spent 18 years at Southwest Baptist as a player and a head coach. He makes that move over. He's got some kids, coming through school and things like that. But are you aware yet of what your jamboree is going to be like? Where's the jamboree at? Who's participating?
Yeah, we're going to go to Smith Cotton High School in Sedalia, Missouri, for our jamboree. We went there last year, I guess, for the first time. They're a growing Class 5, maybe almost a Class 6 school population-wise, but so quite a bit bigger than we are. Coach Gray's been there a couple of years now and has really taken that program in the right direction, I believe. So we look forward to that challenge. With us then is School of the Osage, a really good Class 3 program. They kind of made a run there last year, probably fell just short of what they were hoping. I know they had some pretty high expectations going into the beginning of last year, and rightfully so. They were talented at many positions. So we're looking forward to going back again. We feel like that's a pretty good test. Put the classifications aside, just two solid quality football programs that hopefully will give us an idea. Hopefully we can have some success, but also, to be honest, hopefully we learn a few things about us that we need to get better at. I'd rather learn it in a jamboree than, find out week 1 or week 2. Man, I wish we would have known that a couple of weeks ago type things. So looking forward to going and competing against both of those schools.
We kicks off for real here on Monday, the 11th, first day of fall practices. Between that and the 22nd, where your jamboree is, what are some goals that you have? Obviously staying healthy would be one. But you trying to bring some kids up, help them grow. What are your goals there going into that first couple of weeks of the season?
Sure. Being healthy, obviously, yes, is number one. Our numbers are down a little bit this year for one reason or another. So we typically have tried to be, 2 platoon as much as possible in the past. They still learn both sides of both sides of the ball, but especially early in the season when it's so hot. We just felt like it kind of put us maybe in an advantage if they only had to learn and play one side of the ball and they could step off for a quick break. But this year we just don't have that luxury, and our kids have embraced that. Though we've had a really good summer with conditioning and strength training, and I still don't know that they quite understand what it's going to take, but they've kind of stepped out of their comfort zone, I think, and pushed themselves a little harder than maybe they even have in the past, and I felt like it's been pretty good. So that piece of it's exciting, but that'll be again just progress, but just looking for growth more than anything. I think obviously week 1 through 8, 1 through 9 essentially is preseason. I mean, they're all important. You want to win that conference or be in the conference race or win a conference championship, but ultimately when you get to week 10 is when it kind of matters. So we're looking, especially from some of our younger kids, we will have a couple sophomores that'll step into some positions, some that we'll rely on heavily, and others maybe not quite so much, but still play a very pivotal role if we're going to be successful. So just looking for them to be coachable, give great effort, and just hopefully we can see that growth over the next couple weeks going into week 1, and then really establishing that baseline, and then hopefully continuing to grow throughout the course of the season.
Again, we're visiting with Harrisonville Wildcats head football coach Brent Maxwell. Coach, just a little bit about your conference, kind of handicap that. A lot of folks throughout the state are not familiar what conference you're in and who are the members.
We're in the MRVC West. It is split into two divisions. The East Division is more your Class 1 through Class 3 schools. The West is more Class 3 through Class 5, I guess. I think Warrensburg maybe, they may be, depends on what happens this year with the classifications whenever Michigan comes out, but they've been a large Class 4, borderline Class 5. But we've got Warrensburg, we've got Clinton, we've got Odessa, which is perennially strong. They got a new coach coming in this year. They're super excited about, I think. Oak Grove, again, traditionally strong. Ryan Schartz does a great job there. Center High School is another member of that. So it is definitely a very competitive conference. And obviously I'd be remiss and probably shunned if I didn't at least mention Pleasant Hill. They're just down the road from us. And gosh, I can't say enough about what Coach Hamilton's done there. He's really turned, and they've always been a strong program, but he's really got things going in the right direction. We did a little 7-on-7 with them earlier this summer, and I think he said they have close to 110, 115 kids out this year just based on the success they've had over the last 2 or 3 years. So, that's always a game that we have circled on our calendar. Obviously, I don't know that the rivalry is as big as it once used to be. Back in the olden days, our kids are friends with a lot of their kids. But when that night comes, though, the gloves are off, and it's always a really good, hard fought battle. So again, really, really a tough conference. We're glad we're a part of that, and it kind of prepares us for that postseason run.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being part of High School Game Day today and telling us a little bit about your team. And as the season goes on, I may send you a text when I see that you've won, and because we do a live high school football scoreboard show 9:30 to 11 every Friday night for the entire state. So we get coaches out of St. Louis, Kansas City, Southwest Missouri, Northwest Missouri to be a part of it. But I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. I know it's a busy time right now as you're getting prepared, but thank you so much for being part of the show.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys and everything you guys do to cover high school sports.
Yeah. Hey, you're watching High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And now a message from Chevrolet.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes